guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you a wild adventure I had back in 2015 when I was traveling around Southeast Asia. I was over there for almost 6 months. I went to 7 different countries and I had the most insane wild time. But this is one of the craziest stories. So sit back, grab a drink, and let's go. So I arrived at this little town called Pai. It's in northern Thailand. It's a tiny little hippie town. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life. There's thick jungle all around, tons of tourists, tons of yoga, healthy food. If you have not been to Pai, Pai, Thailand, I highly recommend this as being one of your destinations for Thailand, for real. So at this time of my life, I was kind of a little wild, and I like to find the places that had some of the best parties. So I heard about this little shack off in the jungle, like a little farther away from like the touristy area, that had these amazing, amazing drinks and shakes that made you feel incredibly connected to the earth around you and to the people around you. So I hiked into the forest with some of these lovely young travelers from my hostel that I was staying at, and we found this beautiful, huge shack in the middle of the jungle, and it was called Marley's. So we walk inside of this shack, and it's vibrant. There's music going. There's like pillows and like comfy places to sit everywhere. Lots of people dancing, locals serving us, fun stuff, fun drinks, and we're all just dancing and having an amazing time as soon as we walk in. And I decided to partake in some of the magic that this place offered. I gargled it down. It tasted amazing. It had tons of fruit in it. And I think it had even dragon fruit in it, which is one of my favorite fruits ever. And dragon fruit grows everywhere in Thailand. So it's incredibly affordable over there, which is amazing. It makes your drink super pink and super pretty. So about 20 minutes into my journey, I found myself laying on the ground and looking up at the ceiling of this beautiful shack, and there are bugs, huge, massive bugs crawling all over the outside of the shack. And you can see the shadows from the bugs inside where we were. And these bugs were like as big as my hand. Like I swear, they were like, okay, wait, how can I put you down here? They were like this big, like crawling all over the outside of the shack, and you can see them like looking in. Like it was the moon was making the moon was really bright, so you could see the shadows of the bugs. And so I was feeling really good, and I met this young gentleman. I forgot where he was from, but he was really great and he was really sweet. And I was like, you know what? I would absolutely love to get to know this man better. So he invited me back to his hostel. And I was like, oh my God, of course, I would love to join you at your hostel. So he's like, hey, come hop on the scooter with me. So I said goodbye to my friends, told them I was going to go off with this gentleman and go on an adventure in a hostel. So I jumped on the back of his scooter and we started driving off into the jungle. About 15 minutes into the drive, we're like going around turns and going deeper and deeper into the jungle to find his hostel. I get this like feeling, and I start to kind of like feel a little weird. And I'm like, you know what? I tap him on the shoulder, pull over, pull over. We pull over, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, can you please take me back to my friends in my hostel? Like I'm starting to feel like I want to go back home. Sorry. Like maybe we can do this another night. And he, to my surprise, looks at me and he says, excuse me? Like I just wasted all my time driving you all the way to my hostel. Now you don't want to come back with me? You know what? You can find your own way back. I was like, and he sped off on a scooter, and I was just left there, standing there in the middle of the jungle, not really knowing exactly where I was or how to get back. And all I had was my sandals, my bathing suit on, because it was really hot and humid. So I traveled very light, and my phone and my fanny pack. So my phone, thank goodness, was fully charged, but that was the only flashlight I had. Thankfully, the moon was incredibly bright this night, so it was illuminating the path around me. So I had a general way of like knowing how to get back. So I start walking down the path in the middle of the jungle all by myself. I hear all these, these bugs flying around. I can hear them off in the distance, like cicadas, like like the jungle had this this energy to it, this beautiful, like it felt like it was alive. I mean, it is alive, but it felt like it was like one entity, and you can like hear its heartbeat, you can hear it breathing, you could just like feel the energy of this jungle around you as you're walking through it. And I'm like, all right, like I actually start really enjoying my walk back by myself. There's nobody around, I'm by myself in the middle of this jungle. And then I start hearing like rustling in the bushes next to me, and I'm like, let's not freak out, could just be a little guy walking around, little cat, little stray cat, nothing to be afraid of here. So I keep walking, keep walking. And I start hearing the rustling getting like a little like more intense and faster, like something's running at me. And I'm like, so I look over to my right, and this Thai dog comes out of the jungle. A Thai dog is a dog that looks kind of like a mix between a coyote and a lab. So he's like, their pointy ears, and they're cute. They're pretty cute. And he's just like staring at me, and I'm like, okay, well, I hope we're good. So I put up my hand. I'm like, give me, like, to symbolize that I'm not a threat and that I'm nice. So he comes up to me slowly. And he's like, sniffs my hand. His tail is not wagging, mind you. And he's like, That was a deep growl, and I was like, "Oh my god, okay." So I quickly back up, and I'm like, "All right, what do I do? Should I run? Should I just stay here and stand here quietly? I don't know." So I literally just start to panic a little bit, and then as I look up around me, trying to figure out my escape plan, there's literally a whole pack of dogs that are now surrounding me, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Now it's like 5 or 6 dogs with this other dog, just all looking at me and going, "Arr." And I'm like, "Oh my god, oh 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 my god." Okay, so now there's a pack of wild dogs surrounding me. A pack of dogs are one of the most dangerous things. They're incredibly fast. They all work together. And there is like no way I'm getting out of this. So I look around for like something to protect myself, right? So I find a rock. I pick up a huge rock that's next to me. I pick up a huge stick. So I'm standing there with a rock and a stick. Like a shield is the rock, and then the stick is like my sword, like I'm some sort of knight. And I'm just like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run. And out of nowhere, this dog behind me jumps in front of me. And I'm like, oh my God. I figure she's a she just stands right in front of me. Her shoulders are rolled back and her chest is pumped up, and she just goes, she's not growling at me. She's growling at this pack of dogs. She is sticking up for me. This random dog came in between my legs and stood in front of me and is now protecting me. The other dogs start to kind of like, they're kind of like, and she's like, and she starts to look at each one of them. I'm like, whoa, this dog is literally an alpha dog and it's protecting me. And then one by one, the wild dogs start like backing back up into the forest, kind of like, all right, you win this round. And now I'm just left with the one dog that protected me. I look down at her and she looks up at me and I'm like, whoa, where did you come from? Thank you. And she's like, Thai dogs always look like they're smiling. They do. They're always just like, so she's looking up at me and I'm like, and she's not leaving my side. I'm like, okay. So I start walking in the direction. Now she's walking right next to me or a little bit behind me, right next to me. And I see her kind of like looking around, gazing around everyone else, kind of like, or everywhere else, making sure that we're not being followed. So she walks me. I figure out how to get back to my hostel. She walks me all the way back to my hostel, and there's this like cool bridge crossing over the river that runs through the town that goes directly to my hostel. So she stops at the entrance of the bridge as I walk across into the hostel. And I walk in to my room and I close the door and I look through the shades and she's still sitting out there staring at me at the other side of the bridge. And I wave at her and I close the blinds and I peek back through the blinds to see if she's still there. And then I see her walk back off into the jungle. And I was like, whoa. I just got saved by a wild dog from a pack of wild dogs. And the next morning, I told a local what happened. And the local of Pi, who lived there, who's from there, he said, the dogs here, they find there's a bunch of stores, right? So each store has a dog that sits in front of the storefront. He said that these dogs choose their owner, they choose their storefront. And then once they choose you, they never leave your side. So he said that dog chose you that night and she wasn't going to leave your side until she knew that you were safe. And I was like, I already love dogs at this point, but this really made me just love dogs, like really love dogs. But that's one of my stories of when I was out there in Thailand, and I have a lot of wild, crazy stories that took place over there, and I can't wait to share more of them with you. Here's a couple little pictures from my adventure back in like oh my god, it was like 10 years ago now, almost 10 years ago. Wow, so I was 25 at the time. So this was me. Gosh, I thought I was so cute. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and I have plenty more of these stories coming your way. And I hope you stick around. And I, stay curious, stay adventurous, and stay safe out there. Love you guys.